She looked at you and looked through you. That's the part that stays, isn't it? Not rejection exactly. Something quieter, something that whispers. You were invisible to her. You were standing right there, breathing, present, trying. And she didn't feel a thing. No spark. No curiosity. Nothing. Most men walk away from that moment carrying the wrong conclusion. They decide she's out of their league. They decide they need better looks, more money, a sharper jawline. They go home and start building a case against themselves. And that case? It's the most expensive lie they'll ever believe. Because here's what they never teach you. Desire isn't born from what you have. It isn't built from your resume, your physique, or how perfectly you worded a compliment. Desire is born from a feeling. A very specific, very primal feeling that most men never learn to create. And because they don't know how to create it, they spend their entire lives hoping it will happen by accident. It won't. Not consistently. Not with the women who actually move you. Desire has a psychology. It has triggers. It has a sequence. And when you understand that sequence, something shifts. Not in a manipulative way. Not in a fake confidence, copy-paste lines way. It shifts because you finally understand what you were missing. And what you were missing isn't what you thought. The female psychology of attraction is not wired the way most men imagine. Men often experience desire visually, quickly, almost involuntarily. A woman's desire is different. It builds. It requires a specific emotional architecture to be in place before it catches fire. And that architecture begins with something most men completely overlook: the feeling of unexpectedness, not shock. Not games, something deeper. The feeling that this person doesn't fit the pattern I expected. Every woman walks into a social situation with an unconscious map. She already knows which man will say what. She already knows how the evening unfolds before it unfolds. She's read it 100 times. The man who approaches with a compliment. The one who lingers too long at the edge of the conversation. The one whose approval is written all over his face before she's said a single word. She knows this story. And you cannot create desire in someone reading a story they've already finished. What you can do, what changes everything, is become a story she hasn't read before. Not by being weird, not by being cold, by being genuinely, completely unbothered by her indifference. And here's the thing most men miss: that unbothered state is not an act. It's not a tactic. It's a psychological truth about your own value, lived from the inside out. When you carry it, women feel it. When you fake it, they feel that too. The moment she senses that you are not adjusting yourself to earn her interest, something in her nervous system wakes up. Because indifference, real indifference, reads as abundance. It reads as a man who has options, a man who is genuinely comfortable walking away. And there is almost no signal in the female psychology of attraction more powerful than a man who doesn't need the yes. This is where it begins, not with what you say, with how completely okay you are if she doesn't respond. That single shift, internal, invisible to the naked eye, is the starting point of everything this video is going to show you. Let's go deeper. Because understanding why disinterest kills attraction is only the surface layer. What you really need to understand is what happens inside her psychology when that disinterest is replaced, not by your effort, but by her own curiosity. There is a phenomenon in behavioral psychology called the uncertainty reward loop. The brain is hardwired to engage more deeply with uncertain outcomes than certain ones. Neuroscientists call it variable reinforcement, the same mechanism that makes gambling addictive, that makes a cliffhanger episode impossible to walk away from. When the outcome is predictable, the brain disengages. When the outcome is uncertain, the brain locks in. Most men in attraction are completely predictable. Their desire is visible before they speak. Their approval is available before it's been earned. And a woman's brain, exquisitely tuned to social signals, reads that predictability and mentally files the interaction away before it begins. But a man who is genuinely interesting, not mysterious for show, but actually layered, internally rich, unfinished in some fascinating way, that man creates uncertainty, not cruelty, uncertainty. And her brain responds the way all human brains respond to uncertainty. It pays attention. It leans in. It wants to resolve the loop. Now here's where the psychology of desire becomes actionable. You cannot manufacture mystery if you have no real depth. You can't fake layers you don't have. The women who matter, the ones with self-awareness, with intuition, they see through performance instantly. What you can do, what actually works, is expand who you genuinely are to the point where you become genuinely interesting, not to impress her. To yourself first. Always to yourself first. This is the part most attraction content won't tell you because it's uncomfortable. The fastest path to desire is self-development so honest it changes how you see yourself. When you become someone with real conviction, someone who has thought deeply, who has suffered and grown, who has something he's building, you stop performing interesting. You become interesting. And interesting creates desire without asking for it. There's another layer here that runs parallel to this one. It's called the investment paradox, and once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Here is the truth. The person who invests more in an interaction becomes more emotionally attached to it. This is why you fall harder for the person who keeps you slightly uncertain. This is why the relationship that required effort feels more valuable than the one that came effortlessly. Investment breeds attachment. And the man who makes a woman think, who makes her wonder, who makes her internally curious about where she stands with him, is the man who becomes more valuable in her mind with every hour that passes. This does not mean you withhold. It doesn't mean you play cold. It means you don't rush to remove her uncertainty at the cost of your own authenticity. You let the questions breathe. You let her come to her own conclusions slowly. Not because you're being strategic, but because you're genuinely someone who doesn't need to answer every question the moment it's asked. A man who is comfortable with open loops in a conversation is a man who feels internally complete. And a woman, at the level of pure psychology, reads that completeness as safety and power simultaneously. She thinks, "This man doesn't need me to feel whole." And that thought, quiet, unconscious, almost involuntary, is the match that lights desire. Here's the part that will change how you think about every interaction you've ever had. The part that makes people stop and rewind. Ready? She is not deciding whether she desires you. She is deciding whether to trust the feeling she's already having. Read that again. Because it collapses everything you thought you knew about attraction into something both simpler and more complex. Attraction, the raw initial signal, happens in milliseconds. It's generated in the limbic brain, below rational thought, before language. Before she knows your name, her nervous system has already registered something about you. A posture, a stillness, an energy. And that signal, that first wordless evaluation, is either amplified or killed by what happens next. What kills it is the most common thing men do. They respond to indifference with effort. They try harder. They talk more. They lean in, literally and figuratively. And that visible effort communicates one thing to her nervous system. He is responding to me, which means I have the power here. The moment she has the power, the signal dims. Because desire requires productive tension, and productive tension collapses when the balance tips too far in one direction. What amplifies it, what takes that unconscious flicker and builds it into something she cannot ignore, is a man who continues being himself in the presence of her indifference. Not aggressively, not arrogantly. With a quiet, almost serene self-possession. The man who doesn't flinch when she looks away. Who doesn't recalibrate his energy based on her response level, who says something real and lets it land without chasing it with a follow-up designed to soften the impact. That man is terrifying in the best possible way. Because he operates by his own internal compass, and nothing is more magnetically disorienting to a woman who is used to having immediate effect on men than a man she does not immediately affect. Now, this is not about coldness. Coldness is its own form of performance. It signals insecurity just as much as over-eagerness does. What I'm describing is warmth with zero need for validation. The ability to be genuinely present, genuinely engaged, genuinely curious about her, while caring nothing about whether she mirrors that back. Those two things together, warmth and indifference to outcome, create a combination that is psychologically almost impossible to ignore. Researchers at the University of Rochester found that high self-determination, the internal sense that your actions come from your own values rather than external pressure, is one of the most consistently attractive qualities a person can display. Men who operate from self-determination don't need your approval to proceed. They're not waiting to find out if they're allowed to be confident. They already decided. And that decision, lived consistently, sends a signal that cuts through every social defense a woman has built. She notices the man who doesn't wait for her permission, not because she wants a man she can't influence. She does want that. She notices him because most men have forgotten how to exist without constant external validation. And a man who has remembered is rare. Rarity creates desire, every time. This is the emotional truth behind what's often called the chase, but it isn't a chase. It's simply you being so committed to your own direction that she becomes curious enough to walk beside you. So, where does this leave you practically? Because everything we've talked about, the uncertainty reward loop, the investment paradox, self-determination, productive tension, all of it means nothing if it lives only in your head as a concept. Concepts don't create desire. Behavior does. And behavior requires understanding exactly what to do differently in the moments that matter. Here's the practical architecture of desire. 3 things: concrete, specific, and grounded in everything we've already built. The first is, expand your attention. Most men go into an interaction with a woman they're attracted to in a state of tunnel vision. She becomes the only variable in the room. He monitors her expression, adjusts to her temperature, reads every microsignal for information about how he's landing. And that tunnel vision, completely invisible to him, is completely visible to her. She feels it as pressure, as weight, as neediness without a word being spoken. The shift is radical and simple. Expand your attention to the entire room, the entire conversation, the entire moment. When you're genuinely interested in your surroundings, in the people around you, in the texture of the evening, she stops being the center of your gravitational field. And the moment she stops being the center of your field, she notices. Because she has been the center of every field in the room all night. And the man who is genuinely more interested in the world than in her specific approval is the most interesting man in the building. The second, let silence breathe. Silence is where desire lives. Most men are terrified of silence in an interaction with a woman they like. They fill it immediately, desperately, with words that reduce the moment rather than expand it. A confident man lets silence exist without apologizing for it. He holds eye contact in a pause without rushing to resolve it. He asks a question and actually waits for the answer rather than formulating his response before she's finished speaking. Silence, held well, communicates more than everything you could say in it. It says, "I am completely comfortable here. Are you?" The third is the most important, and it's the one that unifies everything else. Have something you're actually going for, not for her, for yourself. A mission, a project, a direction. Something that existed before you walked into the room and will exist after you walk out. Because desire, at its deepest level, is not about romantic strategy. It is about being drawn to the energy of someone who is moving toward something meaningful. Purposeful people are magnetic people. A man who is genuinely invested in becoming, in building, in contributing, that man carries something in his energy that no amount of social strategy can manufacture. And when she senses that purpose, and she will, because women are extraordinarily tuned to the difference between performance and reality, she doesn't just find you attractive. She finds you significant. And significant is what stays. Significant is what she tells her friends about. Significant is what keeps you in her thoughts at 2 a.m. when the room is quiet and she's being honest with herself. This is the psychology of desire, lived from the inside out. Not a set of moves, not a script. A way of being that makes desire the natural consequence of who you are, not what you perform. And if you've made it here, to the very end, then you already know something most men don't. You felt it in the way these ideas landed. The difference between men who understand desire and men who chase it is not intelligence. It's this: the willingness to look honestly at what you've been doing and choose differently. Not because some woman requires it, because you require it. Because becoming the kind of man who is genuinely desired is worth pursuing for its own sake. If this opened something in you, subscribe. Because this channel exists for exactly this. Not surface-level advice, not pickup lines, not performance. Just the real psychology of what drives human connection at its deepest level. Drop a comment below. Tell me which part hit hardest. I read every single one. I'll see you in the next one.